Hello everyone, it's Brian and Rachel Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and Ink Nouveau here for another Right Time at 9. Today is November 7th of 2012. Another Wednesday broadcast, 9 o'clock. We don't really have so much of a plan for tonight.
We have no plan.
We basically have no plan. So thanks for coming out and just hanging out with us. We got chat going. We're going to do just a lot of Q&A type stuff. What ended up happening was we had... Well, normally we would have had a Right Time on Wednesday last week, and then we ended up doing it on Friday because of Fountain Pen Day.
And Halloween and all that.
Right, and Wednesday last week.
Two on the same day, and we just,
Exactly.
And we're not going to talk any politics tonight. That is out of here. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, we've had our fill.
This is just Fountain Pen talk.
Yep.
And ink and paper and accessories.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Just Fountain Pens.
You guys are asking about Sharp Vigs. That didn't
Sharp
take long.
Vigs is actually cool. I explained everything. I actually apologized to him for laughing because I didn't realize it was basically his name, kind of like, first initial part of last name sort of thing. So I apologized. Like, I'm so sorry I laughed. I didn't know if it was supposed to be funny or not. And he was totally good spirits about the whole thing, and he loves all the comments and subscribers and stuff you guys did on his YouTube page. So he's totally cool with it, and he's like, you guys can joke at my expense in the future if you want. It's a great inside joke. So Sharp Vigs.
We're like, well, that's good. That's good to hear because it's probably going to happen anyway, whether we want to or not.
I know. Well, at least I'm not like giggling every time I say it. Now I realize it's his name and stuff. But anyway, he's cool with it. Yeah. So I don't feel as bad anymore.
Yeah, but what actually ended up happening was, well, we did the broadcasts Friday. We actually ended up doing two separate broadcasts. We did one during the day at our shop, the Meat Team Goulet. Mm-hmm. You can see that. We've got it posted on YouTube, and it's on Ink Nouveau. So we have all 10 of us cycling through in the video.
And the kids.
And our kids, so 12 of us technically.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to see kind of an insight into who makes things happen every day at the Goulet shop, which is pretty cool. We've been wanting to do something like that, and we'll probably end up doing a little bit more concise, produced video that we'll post on our website.
A lot of them were nervous being live and never really like being in front of the camera or computer before. So
they all did great.
They did great. They did better than I thought they would.
Yeah, absolutely. So. It's not so
kind of
easy.
nerve-wracking.
It's not so easy talking live like this because everything you say could be made into a joke and brought up every single broadcast in the future.
Yeah.
So no, but it was a fun time had by all. All our crew enjoyed it a lot, and kind of getting to interact because a lot of them are in the shop and they don't necessarily interact live.
And getting to tell their family to watch and see who their coworkers are and things like that too. So it's neat. It
was fun. And then that night we did the broadcast for the. We announced the winners of the Lummi Studio Contest, and then got into some other stuff that we had going on, just new products and kind of regular Right Time stuff. So. That was only, 5 days ago?
Yeah.
So, and it was over a weekend, and the weekend was crazy, and as it turns out, we're going to end up hosting like 14 people for an early Thanksgiving at our house this weekend.
It just came up like
yesterday. This is kind of like sprung out of nowhere.
Did the winners claim their prizes? Almost everybody did.
7 of them.
We had a couple people who we could not get in touch with, and so we selected some alternates and did get in touch with all of the alternates, so... No hope for anyone here. If you haven't been contacted, you didn't win. Right.
But we are going to have another contest that we're going to start tomorrow. So.
And we have some ideas of future ones too.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
Got some more stuff in the pipeline, some more pens and we got to space them out though. We can't have them all back to back.
Yeah, the Lummi contest was. I would call it a success.
Absolutely.
It was successful not just in that we got a lot of interaction, but that also everybody seemed to have a good time and read lots of good comments, and lots of people won stuff. It was fun.
I would love to do. Would we consider a write-in contest? Yeah, I would love to do a write-in contest.
We could, but it would have to be really extended. See, the problem with doing a write-in contest
we need time for international folks.
I mean, international letters can take a really long time.
No, what you do is
you
give it a month.
Yeah, it would have to be like a
long
really
contest.
long.
It wouldn't be in tandem with like leave a comment, YouTube, Twitter, anything. It would be just write in, and it would be like a month long.
Yeah, maybe we could look to do like one of those every 6 months or something like that.
We could do that for one of our next big giveaways. I think so.
Yeah,
we'll definitely consider it.
Yeah, we'll think about that.
maybe a Christmas special giveaway. I could see something like that. We haven't planned out exactly what we're giving or when, but we already know some of the things we're going to give away. We just have to figure out how and when.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. Couple questions so far. Love my TWSBI Mini. Fine nib. Prefer it much more than my VAC 700. Have you received any other feedback on it from some of your other customers?
Yeah, I've gotten really good feedback about the Mini so far. Really good feedback. A lot of people really like the fact that it was kind of made to be post. And I definitely like the way that is.
And it's a lot of people said it's a lot more balanced when posted.
It really is. Yeah, it definitely is.
So I haven't heard any complaints. We didn't get a lot in. We sold out pretty quickly.
That's probably the biggest complaint we've got is that we didn't have them long enough.
Last I checked, we had a couple of black broad, but everything else had sold out. More coming in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the last I heard. So fingers crossed. Always subject to change, but that's the latest I've heard. I've heard good reports so far. I expect we'll start seeing some reviews on our website in the next couple weeks.
Probably. And I am planning to do... No, wait, I did a review on the Mini.
You did 2 videos on it.
I did 2, yeah. I ended up doing 2 because in the first video, I alluded to the fact that you could probably swap out a 540 nib. And I did a dry swap. I didn't ink it up. But then I was getting some questions already as soon as I posted that video about if it actually did work doing a swap. And so I thought it warranted another video, which I really haven't done that before. Done a follow-up shotgun video like that. But no, it definitely does. I haven't been able to test it for a super long period of time, but it would appear that you can definitely swap the nibs.
Question, do they ink those pens up? I thought I saw some behind my piston seal. I do not believe they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
And we don't sell any used pens, so everything should be new. Everything should have been.
They may spot test them. I don't know that they test every pen.
I think they test the nibs, but there shouldn't be ink behind the piston. It might have been some grease. Yeah, it could have been grease.
Yeah.
You can shoot us an email if you're concerned, and we can take a look at it for you. But it shouldn't have been used or anything like that. It could have been tested, but I haven't heard anything like to that extent.
Yeah. We got a question. Does Platignum make a converter for their pens?
They do not.
They do not. Platignum is a new brand that is...
We're in the process of bringing in.
Yeah, we haven't gotten it in yet. I will be shooting a video on it when we get it in.
I'm not putting it on our site, in case you're looking to sign up for a wait list and stuff. I'm not putting it on our site until it's actually in the U.S. and I have confirmation that what I ordered is what we're getting at the prices that we were told. Yeah. So it's still very up in the air.
Yeah, it's literally a brand new product, so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we need to confirm and work out before we go putting public information out there about it. But what I did find with the Platignum is that you can use a Monteverde mini converter in it. Yep. So it's technically not made for that pen, but it will work in there.
Someone asked if we plan to do a holiday package, like gift set type things. We do have some package sets. I'm in the process. I have a lot of ideas of more I want to do. I just have not had the time to sit down and put them together. And
we've been short on time all around. Trying to get photography of package sets too is really tough.
We haven't done any photography of package sets. Yeah. I've just been putting them up with whatever pictures I have.
So you'll have to forgive us for that. Doing custom photography is very, very time consuming.
If photography aside, I haven't had the time to sit down and set them all up in the site. Getting all the options linked and stuff. It's definitely on my radar. I'm going to do some more, especially for gift giving. Things like that. Well, first of all, they're discounted from buying all the products separately, so that's one of the benefits of a package set. The other is that we've taken a lot of the options out, so we've streamlined all the choices, because it's really overwhelming if you don't know what ink to shop for, if you're shopping for somebody else, or if you don't know anything about fountain pens, someone likes it and you just want ideas.
Yeah.
By preparing preset package sets, and there'll be some options like black or blue, you can choose some.
Well, the options will be more narrow, and that's kind of the point. That's the idea, is that if you put together a package set and there's 50 different options, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of putting together a set. Putting it together a set is kind of like if you go to buy a gift set at a department store. It's like there might be 1 or 2 options for you, but it just makes it easy to just go and select something that we've kind of predetermined is going to be a good gift.
Now, how do you convince your husband that ink or pen is a good gift?
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of people that just end up doing gift certificates for Christmas time, just because their family members or whatever don't even know what the heck even if they tell them exactly what to get, they don't even know enough on the site to go and get it. So, so that's one way that people kind of go about it, but that's kind of a whole other situation.
What are we hearing about the Metropolitan? You love yours. How do they do it for $15? I don't know. It's an amazing pen.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading something else.
I'd kick somebody out of the chat there.
Oh, okay.
They're being ridiculous. Sorry.
Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous. Sorry.
What pen
we're
were you
talking
talking
about
about?
gifts. Yeah, if you can always send people direct links to things you like. We do have a wish list on our site.
It's not shareable.
It's not shareable. I mean, you can
stinks.
print it, I guess. That's something that our website doesn't have the functionality to do. It's something I wish it did, but it doesn't. I'm really sorry, but I guess you can just print it. Yeah, Metropolitan's an awesome pen.
Yeah, we had a few people in the chat talking about the Metropolitans.
For $15, especially coming with a converter, it's awesome. It writes really well. It's great out of the box. It's like the perfect entry-level pen. We did restock today, so we're good on everything we had. We're getting some more designs tomorrow. So it came with a zigzag, and we're getting some with like a little dot pattern and some that are plain. Those are coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
in
it'll be the same colors, same overall shape and everything. It's just like that middle band that's going to be a little bit different design.
I would not be surprised to see more colors like next year.
Yeah, I know there's more colors out there in Japan.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the U.S. maybe next year, just because it's so well received and such a great pen.
We don't have anything confirmed, but we're really trying to push them to do that, because these pens
I would love to see
amazing.
I would love to see the fine nibs come in too.
Oh yeah, we're begging
I'm
hard,
pushing
hard for
I'm
that
pushing
one.
them hard.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll be shooting a video on this soon. I was actually waiting until we got in the dot and the plain designs until I shot a video on it, but I'll have one coming out soon. It's pretty awesome.
Question: does the converter really stay on? Because it doesn't really stay on the parallels.
It does stay on this pen.
It's a better fit than the parallels. The parallels is not designed to be like an ink converter. It's supposed to be just for flushing out the pen.
Right.
This is actually it is made to fit a little better. But you can do, like we said, the Con 20 or the Con 50.
Right. Yeah.
Have you guys ever bought or given pens to people that have never used fountain pens before? I think a lot of people do that.
All of our staff.
Yeah.
When they first came on board, they didn't know anything about
they're talking about
pens.
us or if they're talking to people in the chat. But
oh yeah.
I mean, that's where like good entry level pens come in, like Lamy Safari or this Metropolitan, something that is a low price point but easy to use. Like I would probably stay away from like flex pens or things like that, because I think that would just overwhelm them if they have no experience with fountain pens.
Yeah, if that's
you want something that's like easy to clean and just writes right up.
Yeah, Preppies are good. Lamy Safaris are good.
For some people, like I don't really like them, but just starting with a cartridge is sometimes the easiest. I know, but sometimes just if you're easing someone into it, like
no, teach them right from the beginning. Teach them how to do a converter. We're all it's not that complicated.
Point them to.
I got plenty of videos out there.
Point them to Fountain Pen 101.
Exactly.
Just include a little URL.
I mean, cartridges are like. I mean, we purposely don't carry a lot of cartridges on our site, and we have carried more cartridges before, but they just don't sell well because we got a bottle crowd.
Okay, couple quick questions. I want to make sure we address these before they get buried.
Okay.
What's up with the TWSBI 540s in terms of them being discontinued? When will we be getting their replacement, the 580? The clear ones, to my knowledge, the 540s are discontinued. They have not been available to us for quite some time. I was told about 1 to 2 months, so I'm guessing the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if it were January, but they're working hard on getting those ready for production. So I would expect to see them sometime around Christmas or New Year's. I don't know what's happening to the colored 540s. I haven't gotten any confirmation with that. I don't know if it's just a clear. I don't even know if the price is going to change. I don't know what colors are coming out. All I know is that the clear 540 is discontinued, and we can expect to see a new generation in the 580. So maybe 1 to 2 months. Have you heard about the 2 new Oroshizuku inks coming out in November? It's actually 3. November is when they're coming out in Japan. Originally, they were supposed to come out in the U.S. in December. I was just told they don't expect it before January 1st. So I think January is realistic. I have not put them on our website because I was waiting for Pilot to give me permission. I did not want to be the one to spill the beans before they were ready for a formal announcement. I never want to be that person. I always want to do things right. So 3 new colors. There's a black, a blue black, and a sky blue. I've seen some swabs online. They look pretty awesome. And we ordered a lot, so we're expecting them to do well.
We're pretty excited about those.
If you go on FPN, there are some people who've done some swabs and things because they are, getting out in Japan. So they look pretty cool.
Yeah, we're super excited about those. And obviously we'll be putting those in the swap shop and all that. So,
how's your supply of Edisons? Do you get resupplied, or is it possible you'll sell out and get no more? Oh, we're well stocked.
Yeah, we got a good supply. Unless something's being discontinued, which we'll always give you advance notice of that.
Yeah, and anything that we might run out of, it should be just a matter of a day or two till we get more. And we order some once or twice a week.
Edison is probably the brand that we have the most steady supply of anything.
Yeah, because Brian you can just make more.
Brian Gray, yeah, we get him direct from Brian Gray in Ohio, and he makes them and ships them. Do
we want to talk briefly? Just hint at what may be coming next week.
Yeah.
Speaking of Edisons.
Yeah, we can do that. Why not?
If you guys read the newsletter, you'll see that we are doing an Edison Nouveau Encore limited edition. We're going to be starting that next week. We're going to do kind of like we did with if you were part of the group buy of the Pearl. Earlier this year, basically a pre-order. So it'll be like a several week period where you'll buy the pen. Then we know how many are made. Say it's, 10 or 100, whatever the amount ends up being. And then he will make them all and they'll be engraved, 1 of 10 or 2 of 200, whatever they end up being, however many sell. Our goal is to get them shipped by Christmas. So that's kind of the timing we're looking at. I don't want to reveal what it looks like yet. We're settled on it, but I think it'll be. It's better.
No, we want to wait.
It's better to show you with pictures.
It looks good, though.
But if you've had your eye on the Encore, but you haven't been crazy about the colors, you want something a little bit more special, check next week. Mm-hmm. Do you get bad feedback about shipments of inks in the winter? I just began with fountain pens. It may get too cold for water-based inks outside soon.
It's rare.
It's rare. We had a string of diamine inks that broke in transit to Canada.
Well, we did because the diamine bottle kind of rattles a little bit in the box. So I don't know if it was a freezing issue or if it was
I'm pretty sure it's freezing because it was they were like right in a row around the same time. Well, no, they might sit in customs for a while.
What happened was because they kind of rattled in the box a little bit, we started stuffing paper inside the box.
No. Before, I know, but that was after we found out about the breaking.
I know. But I'm saying as soon as we started doing that, we didn't get breakage anymore. And it was still in the dead of winter. So I think what was happening, it wasn't just the freezing that was breaking them. They would freeze, and then if they rattled around a lot, everything was more brittle and stuff like that, and it would cause it to crack. It happened with like 5 bottles across the entire winter. So it was not very prominent.
Of any other instance we've had. We
had one other instance of a Noodler's bottle going to Maine or something where it froze and then unfroze and it was fine.
Like the bottle didn't break.
The bottle didn't break, but the guy got it and it was frozen.
It was like sitting in his mailbox.
It was in like northern Maine in the dead of winter.
Yeah, we do with the bubble wrap and the shrink wrap and everything. And the paper, we do insulate it pretty well. I've heard of boxes getting dropped off the top of a mail truck in a blizzard on a highway and surviving okay. So
yeah, we package about as well as you possibly can.
Oh yeah, if you're ordering from us in the next couple months, you may see a change to our blue shrink wrap. We're doing some fun changes for getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah, it's green and red. We don't have to make it a surprise.
All right, green and red.
We got it's not green and red. It's green or red. So we're kind of mixing up the shrink wrap a little bit.
And the candy's continuing. That's not a Halloween thing. That's going to be a regular thing.
Yeah.
So we love the blue, and we're going to go back to the blue, but just for changing it up for Christmas, we thought it'd be festive. Yes to candy.
There's a question up here that Plum Dragon was offering to take pictures for us. I appreciate the offer, but
we're pretty well set up. We Brian and Sam Doran, they're pretty well set up with photography.
Mostly Sam these days. I'm doing more. I'm trying to do more of the videos these days. Sam does great with the photography.
When are Lamy 1.5 nibs coming in stock? They are supposed to arrive next week. Next week is also when the Lamy Studio Royal Reds are supposed to come in. So there's like a big shipment from Germany coming into Lamy USA early next week. So probably by the end of the week, we'll start seeing like the 1.5s. I think we're out of the 1.9s. I'm not sure. And the Royal Reds and other things like that. So that's exciting. Question unrelated to the business. Do either of you collect vintage or antique pens? If so, what are some of your favorite treasures you found? No.
We don't personally do that. We're busy enough just trying to keep up with all the new stuff that we have in. But I have a couple old pens. I have a Maybe Todd Swallow and a Waterman 52, both Flex. I paid way too much for them. This was before the Noodler's pens came out, and it was the only option that I had for a Flex pen, basically.
Yeah.
Was these very expensive vintage pens. Of course, now since the Noodler's pens have come out, it's like, well, shoot, you can just use those, and you don't have to treat them with kid gloves like you do the vintage ones.
Yeah.
So those are the only two real vintage ones that I have, but.
No, we just haven't gotten into it yet.
Give me time, and I'll have a lot of vintage pens, because the
the
ones I have will get old.
I was like, we have no shortage of modern pens available to us. We just haven't had a need to go outside our.
Well, I don't think it's uncommon for a lot of people to get into fountain pens by collecting vintage stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm saying ours has been a little bit. We've.
Well, yeah, we were a little backwards, I guess. We kind of got into it with the new stuff, and then just never really.
I'm not saying we never will. Just right now we don't.
Yeah.
A couple more questions. Do I need to flush my Primo when I get it tomorrow, or should it be good to go out of the box to ink it up?
It's never a bad idea to flush a new pen.
I say it should be good to go, but I have seen a couple feeds that look like they've been tested. So it's not a bad idea to flush any pen before you start using it. Just
water,
fresh start.
Maybe water with a little bit of dish soap in it. Because what happens is they manufacture these pens, and sometimes there's machining oils or small particles left over from cutting tools and machining things, and they try and clean them off as best they can, but even still, it's not a bad idea just to flush any new pen when you get it, just to make sure that it's operating as it should as soon as you try it.
Yeah, eliminate all possible factors if you have issues.
Usually with me personally, okay, that was my official recommendation, but me personally, I'm usually too excited to do it. But
then if you have flow issues,
so I'll usually just go ahead and ink it up. Right.
Like,
if I end up with flow issues, I'm like, oh, okay, I know it's because I didn't clean it. I'll clean it out and it'll fix it.
Yeah, but then you've lost the ink. That's
but that's the risk I usually take because I get too excited. So there you go.
Speaking of Lamy nibs, is there an easy way to get the section disassembled? I had to seriously wrestle with mine the other day, and the feed suffered slightly.
Those feeds can be tough to pull out. They're not really.
We've jammed quite a few accidentally.
Lamy feeds are funny. Like sometimes, like we take all the nibs off of our pens and swap them all the time and stuff. So we handle them a lot, and not very often, but every so often we'll actually have a feed that'll come out with the nib when we're trying to pull the nib off. If you don't set it back in there in the correct orientation, you can ruin that feed beyond repair. But most of the times with a Lamy pen, you'll pull the nib off and the feed will be in there, and it'll be in there pretty tight. And because of the way that the feed is shaped, it's really hard to get a good grip on it. And it's especially hard to get a good grip and pull it out without ruining the thing. So usually I just recommend not pulling that feed out of there unless the feed comes out relatively effortlessly, because it is so easy to damage it. And the problem is if you grab it, with the kind of like the wings where the nib is supposed to fit on there, and you ruin that, then your nib's not going to fit on there properly, and you've ruined the feed, even while it's still in the pen. So it's kind of thing like do at your own risk. That's what I say.
Are the Bach number 6 nibs the same size as the Edison nibs? There's a Bach nib I'd like to try and get my hands on.
I believe so. Well, I mean, Bach is a company. They make a lot of
But if it's number 6.
If it's number 6 nib, it should
because Edison's
fit.
Number 6.
It should fit, yeah.
Yeah, it should.
I believe.
There's a lot of pens that use that size nib. It's pretty common size.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you recommend dip pens for testing inks quickly? It's
kind of like a Q-tip swab. It'll give you a good idea.
But it's not quite the same as using.
Well, it's better than a Q-tip swab usually.
Oh, well, yeah.
Usually the order of like getting a good idea of the color, like a Q-tip swab is like the quick and dirty, way to do it. It gives you a very, broad, bold, picture of the ink. Which is why it's good for things like, showing color on the internet, and our website is the Swab Shop because it's a big swatch of color.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not necessarily completely accurate to how it might look in your pen. A glass pen is kind of the next best step, but glass pens usually write pretty wet. Those are super easy to clean and very easy to dip and use, but it's going to be accurate to a really wet writing pen. Then a dip pen, depending on the type of nib you're using, there's a lot of different variations of dip nibs out there. And if you have, a dip nib that you feel kind of writes similar to another pen that you have, then that would be a good one to kind of standardize on. So I would maybe try and find a dip nib that you can write with the same ink as you have in one of your fountain pens, and see if they look the same on paper when you write with it, and then kind of standardize on that dip nib to do your testing. But I've done that. I think I even have in my ink sampling video, I have that Browse set with the nib on there. That I've done that. But yeah, of course, there's nothing like inking it up.
Will we be carrying any more dip pens in the future? If we find some good ones, we used to carry the Jeroboam glass pens, but they had some major quality issues to the point where the U.S. distributor actually stopped bringing them in until France gets their act together. So we just have the Rohr and Klingner glass pens right now, and then we had the Browse. We did carry the full Browse calligraphy.
There's a lot of other Browse nibs,
a while, but they just weren't selling well for us.
We found that I talked to some people who are really into dip stuff and calligraphy and stuff like that. It's kind of like another world. It's kind of like people that are into pencils or people that are into felt pens, or it's similar, and there is some
calligraphy
crossover.
Inks and dip pens are just a whole different
I mean,
thing.
it's same with like watercolor artists and stuff like that. Like there's some crossover, but there are other companies, other retailers out there who focus a lot more on the calligraphy and the dip nibs and that kind of thing. And it's like, until we're at a place where we can really kind of dive in and really learn of that world, then we're really just kind of messing around. So we have the Browse set just because it's so cheap and easy to just kind of get an idea of what a dip set is like, but we're not really going to go too crazy into it in the near future.
Have you ever tried getting the Diatramentis document inks? I've seen them, and I've had a lot of people lately asking me about them, so I think we'll just go ahead and put some in our next order.
What are they, like iron gall inks or what?
I don't know, and that's part of why I haven't ordered them, is I don't really know what they're made of or what makes them different. They're supposed to be like archival, document inks. But I don't know much about them.
Maybe worth finding out what they're all about.
They're not iron gall, but they meet ISO standards. Okay. I'll put some in our next order. It usually takes, let's see, we have an outstanding order now. It takes about 3 or 4 weeks to come in, sometimes more. I could probably get some in here by like mid-December. We order from Germany. It just takes a long time. They make everything on demand for us as we order it, and do English labels for us and everything. So
yeah. And by the way, too, I see some people are like, there's kind of side conversations going on in the chat. We actually, Sam today helped us to have a way that we now record the chat, and we'll have it available as a text file that you can download when I post the video.
Oh, I didn't know we're going to make it available.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of the whole point.
Cool.
So all the conversation that's going on from the time that we join onward will be available, for you to download. So any links or any conversations and things like that you want to have, you can download. It'll be a small file. It's just a text file.
Real quick on the Diatramentis, and then I see another question I want to get to. You want to buy some scented inks to add a little special touch to your writing. Diatramentis has the biggest collection of scented inks. Are there any other brands that offer scented inks? Jeroboam has a couple. We carried them in the past, and we have actually a sampler set. They're a bit pricier than the normal Jeroboam inks. They're probably comparable to Diatramentis in price. I didn't like the scents as much.
There's only 5 cents.
I think the Diatramentis are just a lot more authentic and a lot more not as overpowering, I guess.
The Jeroboam ones smell really chemical,
or
yeah,
fake.
Very fragrancy. I don't know what's the right word.
I don't know. If
Diatramentis has really kind of got it down.
If the demand is there, we could bring them, but we did carry them for a while, and they really weren't that popular.
Yeah.
Real quick, there was
a question.
We saw
the sampler, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
There's a question up above. What pen do you recommend to use with Jeroboam Rouge Hematite?
Anything that you...
Anything as long as you clean it out
regularly.
Anything that's
easy to clean, yeah. That pen, or that ink, I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's like, if you're going to use it regularly, it's not so bad. But if you're going to let that ink sit in your pen for a week or several weeks without using it, it's going to gunk up and it's going to be really hard to clean out. Not really hard. It's a red ink, which is kind of hard to clean anyway. But because that ink is so saturated with dye that it gets really, really tough to clean out if you let it sit there for a long time. So, whatever pen is easy to clean, and, probably if you have a clear demonstrator that you can't take apart, maybe don't put it in that one. Put it in something that, if it does, I'm not going to say stain because it won't be a permanent stain, but something where if you don't really want to have to scrub all the nooks and crannies of the pen, then you're probably better off putting it in something that'll hide it a little better. Yeah,
someone said I have trouble with rouge hematite being taken over by the green gold sheen sitting on top. It's funny. We actually redid our swab because the formula had changed from like the very original batch. So we did the swab. We did it like 4 or 5 times, and every single one, the sheen was just so overpowering.
In a Q-tip swab, the sheen, like the whole thing just comes out looking gold.
So I've had a lot of people tell me like, "Hey, I was looking at rouge hematite swab on your website, and it looks
wrong.
It looks wrong. What's wrong with it?" Like, well, it's
what it looks
really,
like.
really heavily sheening ink.
That's what it looks like. And the thing is, though, the paper makes a huge difference.
The red's still there, but at certain angles, like sometimes all you see is the green gold.
If you're using an absorbent paper, that sheen will almost disappear. It'll look the pure red. But if you're using a really ink-resistant paper like Clairefontaine, like we use for the swabs, that sheen just comes right out of there. So the paper makes a huge difference.
Okay, there's a bunch more questions. I want to make sure we address them all. Would we ever carry Mont Blanc inks?
Well, we'd like to.
We tried to ask them, and they had no interest in us because we don't have a physical retail store. So they are not up with the times.
They turn their noses up at us. So
they were very dismissive.
But that's okay because honestly, they're the ones that put Swisher out of business. So we've heard. So
yeah,
they have a weird way of doing business.
La-di-da, exactly.
From what I've heard,
I feel like it is their loss because they are not seeing where things are going. Online is where shopping is happening these days. You can't rely on just a physical store anymore.
Well, they sell online.
Well, they
sell
do.
online on their own site,
but they don't. They have no interest in online retailers.
They got a weird way of doing things, and
I would love to. It really stinks that we can't get it, but they don't want us. So oh well.
Yeah, and usually it's funny because you'll see other online retailers that'll have the ink, and you're like, well, how did they get it? We actually know of some others that actually buy it from other stores,
and
just so that they can offer it and resell it at like not much money, as not much profit or whatever, just so they can have it. And it's like, well, okay, well that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't believe in fountain pens being this la-di-da snobby thing. What really? Sorry, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, but I love it when fountain pens are featured in like a major news article, like Washington Post article or like a CBS News special. But I feel like 9 times out of 10 they focus on these high-end collectors who are going to these fancy stores in their suits, and then they show us their house with their display cases of their pens, and I'm like, that's not our customers. Like our people and our passion is people who use their pens and they write with them all the time, and they get value out of a $15 pen. And they love the ink. They never talk about the ink. They never talk about the paper. It drives me nuts.
We're probably as excited at things like the Pilot Metropolitan and the Twisbies and stuff like that as we are about the expensive stuff. Yeah, there's a place for everything.
I'm not saying exactly, and I'm not.
There's a place for the expensive stuff.
I'm not dismissing expensive ones. It really bothers me that.
When that's the focus.
Or when people who don't know about fountain pens, their only exposure to it is these things like this where they picture the guy in the suit in the Mont Blanc store and, being all snobby and hoity-toity about it. Like that's not...
Well, that is what a lot of people associate fountain pens
and I would love to help break that stereotype. I want to bring fountain pens to the masses.
Well, I think we're doing that right now by being dressed in our pajamas more or less as we're talking about pens. But that's our thing. That's the way that's the approach that we take.
Yeah, it does make them seem unaccessible. They are. You can get a fountain pen for $4 or less, even.
Getting a lot of hallelujahs and testifies in the chat. So.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll
right
step off
with
my
you.
box, but when it comes to Mont Blanc and things like that, you know what? If their vision is in a totally different direction than the direction we're going, we're bringing pens to the people.
Not to say I wouldn't be open to it if they changed their minds and wanted to.
Yeah, as long as they're not going to be ridiculous about it.
Yeah, well,
you must carry this amount at all times, and no, we carry what the people want.
We are fountain pen lovers, but we're also business people too. So in order for us to successfully carry and promote a product, we have to believe in it, and there has to be the right business relationship behind the scenes. That goes on as well, and we work really hard to try to nurture that, because that's as important as the quality of the products and the prices and all that other stuff. You just don't see a lot of that side of things. But if we have, we've had brands before where we've either had quality issues or business relationship issues that we've ultimately had to give them up, even though it might have been a decent product. But it's the kind of thing, like if it ends up working out really well, like Monteverde was kind of like
it's just a matter of time. Pilot used to not sell to online retailers, and they changed their tune.
That's a good example.
We were one of the first, I think, online only retailers to get Pilot. So and
Lamy was Lamy was a well-oiled machine with online before we came along, but
it was still
years
relatively
ago,
new.
Yeah, 5 or 7 years ago, they didn't sell a lot online. And like I mentioned Monteverde. Monteverde is an example of, a good business relationship behind the scenes that works in tandem with a good product, good price, and all that kind of stuff. So.
Anything to say about Waterman pens? I don't know. They discontinue a lot of their cheaper models, and it's...
Waterman and Parker have been tough because they keep discontinuing.
They keep discontinuing cheaper ones, and they keep developing higher end.
I think the cheapest Waterman fountain pen you can get is the Hemisphere, which is like $60 or $70.
I have one, and it's
okay.
Okay, it's way too thin for me personally.
I mean, it's okay. It would make for a decent pen, but it's like
I feel like for that price point, there's a lot of other options.
Well, yeah, it was like a $70 pen, and it didn't come with a converter even. So it was like, then you got to spend, what, $10 or $12 on a Waterman converter?
Yeah, I love Pilot. Exactly. Some do it right. They cover the whole range. Pilot, you have pens under $10. You have this $15 Metropolitan. Then you get into, vanishing points at that $150 mark or so. And then, of course, they have Maquiers and limited editions that go up from there. But it's like, they give a full range. You have the Prera at, 60 and, it's... And Lamy has a huge range too, going from the 20s up to the 300s.
Yeah. Platinum is the same thing. They go the preppy. That's like the cheapest pen.
Can I make another rant?
Okay. If you got a lot of testifies
I'm
on
speaking
the last
to a fountain pen crowd here. Have you guys seen the Parker, like the fifth Ingenuity?
Oh my
What's
gosh.
it called? The fifth Ingenuity or Ingenuity fifth or something?
I forget what they call that.
It's not a fountain pen,
felt tip pen.
It's a felt tip pen that it has like a nib, like a faux nib front to it. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. For the price, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there. If you guys want it, I don't think you're gonna have anybody disagreeing with you in this chat. If you guys want it, I will happily order it for you. But personally,
we haven't had anybody ask us about that.
Well, I know, but like Parker's really, really marketing this thing. They're pushing it really hard, and they keep coming out with new versions of it instead of, like decent fountain pens that people want.
Well, they're
calling it like a new technology. It's basically a felt tip pen.
It's a felt tip pen that's made to look like a fountain pen, but it doesn't at all.
I'm sorry.
For anybody who knows a fountain
pen user would actually use this thing?
None. No.
So it's for people who like want to look like they use fountain pens. Who wants to look like they're using fountain pens? If you want to use a fountain pen, just use a fountain pen.
It's for people that.
Oh my goodness.
It's for people that want the look and the prestige of a fountain pen
without
the hassle.
It's almost $200.
I know.
And they're like, "Ooh, we came out with new colors of refills." I'm like, "Come on."
I mean, why do people buy Mont Blanc 149s in a ballpoint? You know what I mean? Like, seriously. People pay hundreds of dollars for ballpoint pens. You said the Amazon reviews are hilarious. I bet they are. I should really read those. Oh, gosh, yeah.
I'm sorry. If any of you love it, I apologize to you. I just think it's the stupidest thing.
It's Tell us how you really feel.
Well, if you really want to know.
I'm curious. We should just like order one just so I can have it.
I don't want to spend that much money even at our
I know.
at our cost.
I don't even want to buy one. I don't even want to waste my money on it. But
all right. Okay, let's get to some real questions. I'm sorry if I missed anything. Are you able to get a rodeo Webby to lay flat? You're having issues with your pocket Webby. The A5 lays flat better than the pocket. The pocket's a little tougher.
Well, it's thick paper. It's a small notebook. You got to break in that spine a little bit. So, you got to take the thing and kind of crack the spine and bend it. You can bend it backwards onto itself. You just got to break it in, and that'll do it.
When it's new, it's a little tougher.
Yeah, a lot of notebooks are like that.
Can the Invincia pens be used as an eyedropper, or does it have metal in it?
The what, sorry?
Invincia can use as an eyedropper.
I'm
pretty sure it's metal.
I wouldn't. Yeah,
pretty sure it's metal.
It's got metal in there. Yeah, I wouldn't use it as an eyedropper.
Ballpoints are the Aztec of pens. Come on.
Hey, we have an Aztec and love it. Thank you very much.
That's why they made the joke at us. Anyway, new question.
No, I think that fifth element pen or whatever is the Aztec.
No, I don't want. Don't even put our
Aztec.
Aztec
was like the car that's supposed to be a camper with a tent on it.
Okay, well that's just stupid. We don't have the tent kit or anything. But
oh gosh.
New question: what works best to get ink off of fingers?
Time.
Just
give it time. It'll wear off.
Well, yeah, or hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer works well. Shampoo can work well sometimes. Soap. I don't, me personally, I don't even try to get the ink off my fingers anymore. You can see in most of my videos I've got ink on my fingers.
Sorry, I missed that question. Have you thought about making custom wax seals? If not, do you know a good place to look at? We looked into it, but we're not really set up for it. A good place is Artilia Gargoyle, right?
Artilia Gargoyle is the best.
They're very expensive.
But they're expensive. They do lost wax casting of seals.
Yeah,
but they're expensive.
Cool.
They're like $200-$400 per seal. So that's expensive, but they look awesome. You can find cheaper seals for like $60 to $100 that are laser engraved. They're not going to be as deep. They're not going to be as complex as the hand carved ones, but you can still get some cool ones.
I was talking about getting ink on their forehead. Husband got Bay State Blue on his nose. Took a couple days.
Bay State Blue is one of those that's actually really easy to get off. Use hand sanitizer, and that like knocks it out. Or shampoo. Shampoo works really well for Bay State Blue. Maybe
anything with like alcohol content.
Yeah, I don't think shampoo has alcohol in it though.
No, I don't know.
It's slightly basic. Maybe that's it. Maybe it has to do with the pH level. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's interesting you bring up getting ink on your face. When I did the video for the fountain pen news, I did the black Noodler's Black under my eyes, and actually Noodler's Black washes off of skin surprisingly easy. It mostly came off just with water, but then a little bit of soap and it was gone. So.
Quick questions. I dumped a bunch of deodorantis on my leg not too long ago and stained my sheets.
Oh gosh.
Sorry to laugh. That stinks. What gets ink out of white sheets? Bleach doesn't. There's things like Ink Nix or Amedex. Those are designed for like fabrics. And someone just asked, why don't you carry Ink Nix? I don't know.
I tried contacting them and they never got back to me.
Amedex we do have a resource for. We actually have some samples. We just never got around to trying it.
Yeah.
But Amedex is something we can get. Ink Nix we're having trouble locating someone to sell it to us.
If you guys really pester us to carry stuff, we'll look into it. But every now and then we'll get somebody asking us about carrying something like that.
Some people are talking about milk.
But then it's usually not that much.
Using milk.
Well, Amedex is made from milk. It's derived somehow from milk.
Well, there you go. You can just try, put some.
I don't know if you want to go dumping milk all over your bed.
No, like put it in like a big bowl and just try to spot clean it.
Just milk?
I don't know, milk
just
and
straight
water.
Up milk.
I don't know. That's what they're suggesting.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Someone's asking, where is Ashland, Virginia, and do we have a walk-in store? Ashland, Virginia is just north of Richmond. If you know where, if you're on 95 and you pass the Kings Dominion, it used to be Paramount, now it's
Cedar Fair.
Kings Dominion, the amusement park. We're just a couple miles south of there, but before you get to Richmond. So we're an hour and a half, 2 hours south of DC. We're like smack in the middle of the state.
We don't have a walk-in store though. You can do a store pickup where we'll gather everything for you, but we gotta it's just a warehouse.
We don't have like a display. We don't have like stuff for people to try. If you stop in, we'll be happy to give you your order or talk to you. But
meet our kids.
Yeah, I mean, you can like come in and talk, but we don't
Yeah.
we don't have like a display or anything like that.
Right.
You said your work has a warehouse in Ashland. You always think of us. That's cool. Ashland's kind of a small place, so I'm sure we know where it is.
Could be. It might be right down the street from us.
Yeah, we're kind of like in an office park area, so there's a lot
right
of
near the
businesses
Bass
around
Pro
us.
Shops, if anybody knows where that is.
We are near Bass Pro
Shops.
Shops.
On that same road. Yep.
Ashland is the center of the universe. Okay.
Technically, it's on their sign. Yep.
And I never thought I would be an Ashland resident. Thankfully, our new address is not Ashland. But
we don't live in Ashland anymore.
But the town of Ashland is. We never lived in the town, but there's a sign, like when you're leaving and entering. Welcome to the center of the universe. No joke.
There's other signs.
Isn't there a song?
Apparently, I don't know the song. I grew up just outside of Ashland, but my high school was in Ashland, so I was kind of like, I knew a lot of Ashland townies, if you will. But I was always kind of on the rural outskirts.
There is a song.
Yeah, my sister sang it for me once, and I didn't remember it at all. But that's not surprising.
Does it talk about being the center of the universe?
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. Apparently, they would sing it at like the annual
like town meeting or
town
something?
festival, like some kind of festival or talent show or something like that they put on every year. I don't know, they have a parade every year. I mean, it's a very spirited town, but
it's a small town. There's like a train that runs through, and
yeah, it's a whistle stop. Well, it used to be a whistle stop town. It's not anymore. Now there's like 70 trains every day that blow their whistle through the town.
Joseph loves the trains. Like it gets to the point where on the road to get to our house, there's railroad tracks we cross, and like if we're like pulling up, even if we've passed through, like one time we were like in the middle of the tracks and we saw a train coming. It's like Brian backed up so we could watch the train go by.
Okay, I don't do that anymore. I realized that was a pretty dumb thing to do.
I was pretty mad at you, but he did love the train.
Joseph
Now
loves
we
the train.
just like if we pass it and we see the train come, we'll like turn around and like
there's like
there.
a turnaround spot right there, so we'll turn
just,
around
like,
and sit there and wait for the train. Except sometimes the train's like waiting to go into the town, so it'll actually stop before it gets to the railroad. So we're sitting there waiting for like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, is this train coming or what?
Yeah, and Joseph gets upset if it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, do you carry your pens in a case or pocket or what?
I do
have a couple cases
combination
and pocket.
of various things. Most of my pens, okay, if I have really special pens that I'm not pulling out very often, I'll keep them in the box that they come in.
Limited editions.
I've got
and stuff.
I've got a Stipula Da Vinci and like some of the limited edition, like a TWSBI ROC 100 and some of that kind of stuff.
My pink
stuff that I'm not
going to
pull out
in its
very
pink
often.
case.
Yeah.
I still have never inked it up.
Our LE, I haven't inked mine up either. The LE Vanishing Points.
Scared.
Those ones I'll keep in the box.
Yeah, you don't have a pen.
Not
You
on my
even
person.
have like a little pen thing.
Oh, you can't fit anything in this little.
You can
it's
fit
made
like
for
a pencil.
Yeah.
Why would anyone put a pencil in their pocket? That's stupid. You'd stab yourself.
It's a flannel shirt. It's made for like woodworkers and stuff. Who cares?
But like if you have a sharp pencil, if you bend over when you stab
Well, yeah. I mean, you're right.
Stupid.
Yeah. No, but I do a combination of things. I'll keep it in the box if it's like a really expensive or special or limited pen, or the packaging is something special. Most of my pens that I need to access regularly, I keep in, 20 pen cases, and I've actually got like 3 of those now, and a couple 10 pen cases, and Aston leather cases. So I love those cases, but I've got probably several of those cases now.
Yeah, on the go. Use like an Aston leather slip.
Yeah, I'll usually
and keep that in your pocket.
It depends how many pens I'm carrying. If I've got like more than 3, then I'll use like a 6 or 10 pen case, and I'll just kind of carry that in my laptop bag. But if I'm just carrying a couple, I'll just have an Aston slip that I carry it in. Or if it's a pen that is durable, like a Lamy Safari or like Pilot Metropolitan or something, I'll just carry that, either in my laptop case or my pocket. Usually it's my laptop case, because with the nature of our business, we take our laptops pretty much everywhere we go.
I generally don't carry fountain pens on me because Joseph gets into everything. He'll go in my purse, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Plus, I always have them handy. So.
Well, I keep them everywhere I'm going. If I'm at work, I have some there from here.
Yeah.
Hey Brian, whenever I watch your videos, I always see the wall that's covered in artwork and letters. Is that from customers?
Yes.
Yes, it's actually. We have a main wall in the front, in like our lobby. I guess like our reception area, if you will. And then that's like some of your favorites you've put in there.
Yeah, I kind of handpicked the ones that I thought were cool.
We actually still have a bin. Like when we moved shops
we've got
back
even
in
more
April,
we need to hang up. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to take down our whole letter wall in April, and we haven't finished putting everything back up. But
Yeah. But
yeah.
Those are.
Oh my gosh, if we do a write-in.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, we'd have a lot more.
We can cover the whole wall.
That would be cool. I wonder how many entries we'd get on a write-in contest.
How can you special order a Goulet wood pen handcrafted by the king of pens himself?
Well,
there are no more.
It ain't gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, there aren't any.
There are some floating around out there, maybe. I don't know. I saw one crop up on FPN like 2 years ago. And I was actually kind of sad because I was like, oh, why does anybody want to keep my pen?
Well, we thought about buying it back.
Yeah, I did, but whatever. It was a ballpoint, so.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't make pens anymore. I probably could. I still have some of the equipment.
That's funny. You keep all the little sketches and stuff you get from us. That's funny.
All the what?
Sketches and things like that. Like.
Oh yeah, like the Drew's drawings and stuff.
Drew.
Oh, those are definitely worth keeping.
Yeah, those are fun. I love to see.
He did an awesome one today of Jesus doing a thumbs up. That was a special request. He actually came and asked us about it. He's like, is it okay to do a Jesus giving a thumbs up? And we were like, well, it's not sacrilegious.
Well, first of all, that's exactly what the customer asked for. That's exactly what
they requested.
And number two, it wasn't.
It was done tastefully.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, yeah.
Oh, Buddy Christ. Okay, yeah. So, well, that movie is kind of questionable. What's that from? I forget the name of that movie that's from, but yeah. Anyway, so he did it tastefully, so I don't know.
Dogma. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hated that movie.
Yeah, that movie kind of...
Hated that movie. Anyway, saw Nathan's video on the new Bulletproof Blue Black. It looked like he was using an orange colored pen. I think it was an Ahab. I like the Conrad. Will I be disappointed with Ahab? The pen he was using was the Poltergeist Pumpkin Ahab, I believe. Or something similar to it.
No, it wasn't. It was
one of the new ones?
Yeah, it was one of the new ones.
Oh, no, he said
Tiger.
Tiger.
It looks like, yeah, it was
No, Tiger's not a new one. But there is a new one coming out that is orange, but it's more pearlescent, maybe. But he said it was Tiger. Okay,
yeah. Because he did talk about Poltergeist.
If you like the Conrad, I think you'll like the Ahab. It is a little bit bigger. It doesn't have the blind cap. It has a slide piston instead of a twist. But if you like the nib and the feed and how it flexes, I think you'd like the Ahab.
Yeah, me personally, in use,
but they are a lot bigger.
I actually like the Ahab better personally. I have big hands. They are very big. Style-wise, I kind of like the Conrad better, but the Ahab, in terms of functionality, I actually prefer personally.
Reverse question: if I like my Ahab, will I like the Conrad? I assume yes.
I mean, they're pretty similar. Yeah, it depends. It depends on what you like about the Ahab.
Yeah, they're definitely different sizes.
If you like the fact that you can do an eyedropper fill to be 6 milliliters, well, then the Ahab or the Conrad is going to be a step down from there in terms of ink capacity. But
we'll go back to the Ahabs real quick. How is the new Bulletproof Blue Black? Is it kind of dry? It seems dry on the swab.
The 54th Massachusetts.
It flows pretty well, but
it's not dry.
It does dry quickly, but it's not a dry flowing ink.
It's pretty much like a Noodler's Black, but in a blue black.
That's actually like Alex and Sam and some other folks have been using it like in their regular rotation this week, and everyone just loves it. Sam was like, I think this is my new favorite ink. It's basically, if you like Noodler's Black, but you want a blue black, it's basically behaves just like it.
It's pretty much like the most waterproof ink that I've used since Noodler's Black.
It almost has a chalky look, but honestly, in person,
not really.
Well, no. He's saying the swab. In person, in the writing, it doesn't look that way at all. And actually, Alex has been using it for her thank you notes this week. Well, some of them. She switches around, but you might see it.
Yeah.
Does it look like PR Midnight Blues? PR Midnight Blues is a lot more blue.
It's a lot darker, yeah.
This is more like leans, I guess, gray, if you will. I don't know. And you guys are talking about the new Ahabs coming. Those are coming probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. A lot of new colors. We're really excited about this. I just have to.
A lot of new colors.
Alex and I have decided we're going to teach ourselves how to learn, how to write with a flex pen. So we're going to pick pretty pearly ones for ourselves, and we're gonna work with each other to get the hang of them.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh, Alex is our admin. You can watch the Meet Team Goulet video and read about her, or go to the About Us on our page. Yes, Alex is awesome. She's a
Yeah.
girl. I say Alex is a
She's
girl.
a girl. She's also pretty much going to be the one who's going to answer the chat if you're ever on our site and the chat
Or
comes
most
up.
of the emails, and she's basically our
She does a lot of the
line.
front end correspondence.
She did just get married.
Yep.
And she has really cool handwriting. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was commenting how her handwriting has changed or improved since she started working.
Well,
here.
you got a lot of practice.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's practice. Whenever anybody asks me, what can I do to improve my handwriting? It's like, write, just write a lot and it'll get better. It's like playing a musical instrument or, doing a sport or anything like that. If you just do it a lot, you're going to get better. Dream pen is to get a Mach-E. Yeah,
what do you use for
Mach-E is
highlighting
awesome.
text? Are you talking about ink or pens? There are a couple highlighter pens out there. A lot of people actually like the Pilot Parallel for highlighting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's like the preppy highlighter. It has like a felt tip, so it's
that's more like a conventional highlighter.
Yeah, it's gonna emulate more of like your regular, your regular disposable highlighter. The nice thing about the Parallel is the tip isn't gonna get.
Yeah, it's like a metal nib, so
It's not going to get inky with whatever you're highlighting over, because I've heard of that, and that's why they make replacement tips available.
the platinum.
For the platinum, yeah. Because it's a felt tip and it tends to.
And the Pilot's not.
It's just like a marker, like if you're using a yellow marker and you're coloring over
it's like
black.
any other highlighter that you get out there. It's got a felt tip kind of thing, chisel tip, and it'll if you're writing over black ink with the highlighter, you're going to get some black on the tip. And but the parallels are nice because it's a metal nib, so it's going to last.
How do you
a
find
really
it
long
smears
time.
ink lots or not much? As long as you let it dry, it should be okay.
It's going to depend on the ink too.
It's going to depend on the paper too, how absorbent it is and how much ink is sitting on the paper.
Yeah, it's going to depend. I mean, are you talking about like it depends if you're writing over like printed text versus writing over something else you've written.
It should highlight just fine over printed text. If you're highlighting over your own writing, that's when you have to worry about how much ink has been absorbed into the paper or not.
And what ink you wrote with in the first place,
A couple more questions real quick. Do you know if Pilot will ever put the extra fine nib on the resin Falcons? I don't know. I'll inquire. I don't see why they can't. I mean, it's a different colored nib, so obviously they have to make it. But, hopefully I'll ask them.
Yeah, I would love if they did, because that EF nib is something else.
It's pretty awesome. Okay, a lot of people talking. Question: what's your favorite ink for flex pens? And don't say Apache Sunset. Of course, everyone's saying I love Apache Sunset.
Yeah.
Black Swan Australian Roses.
Roses would probably be the number one.
Yeah.
Apache Sunset is
amazing. It's one of my favorites.
Very close second. I really like Apache Sunset.
Oh, that's funny. I went to a fountain pen boutique once, and the salesman was telling me how medium nibs are super popular in the U.S. because it is smoother to write on cheaper paper due to the fact there are a lot of impurities in the paper. Is that true?
Well, it is smoother. A medium nib is going to feel smoother on most of the time.
An extra fine or fine. The ironic part is if you're using really cheap, crappy paper,
you're going to get a lot of feathering.
You're going to get a lot of feathering, and extra fines or fines actually will look better because it's going to contain that. So, if you get, it just, again, depends.
What's funny is that anybody...
Well, the reason medium nibs are super popular in the U.S. is because some distributors...
That's all they offer sometimes.
Sometimes that's all they bring in because they're like, oh, medium's medium, middle of the road, so everyone would want it. It's like, not necessarily.
For most of our customer base, a fine nib tends to be more popular than a medium nib.
Absolutely. Almost across the board.
Yeah. Extra fine, it depends on the brand.
Mediums can be fine, but I'm saying I don't personally think they are the most popular size.
I like medium nibs.
I do too.
I tend to gravitate towards medium nibs myself.
I do too, but looking across, at least among our customers, and
we
have a lot of people who have to write on bad paper, so they like using finer nibs.
That's usually what it is people who have to use paper at work or school or whatever.
Have small handwriting.
Yeah, a lot of people have small handwriting.
That'd be a good poll. That would be a good question for the contest you're doing. Is what's your favorite nib of choice? Like, what's your favorite nib size?
Yeah, I could do that.
Anyway.
What's interesting is that I hear a lot of times about how people like to use finer nibs because it makes their handwriting look better.
I find the opposite.
I find the opposite too.
I always think
that I'm crazy because so many people tell me they like fine nibs because it makes their handwriting look better.
Unless you write small. When I use a fine or extra fine versus a broad, it's a whole big difference because I feel like the curves are just I see more of the imperfections in the roundedness of.
Me too. That's kind of how I feel.
I love using a 1.1. That's my favorite. That's my daily.
Stubs.
It makes it look so nice.
Love some
it's
stubs.
Fun. It's more interesting. I don't know. I love that Lamy 1.1.
Absolutely.
Can you do a video on the new Ferrari Schaeffers? They're sexy pens, if you have the time. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how limited they are. They are pretty cool.
The only ones that we have are the 100s. We don't have any of the 300s. The 300s are a little cooler than the 100s. But I don't know if it's worth doing a video on the 100s. I might be able to. I'll put that on my radar. Yeah.
Oh, I just know Sam's in here. Hey, Sam.
Where?
Sam Dorn, right there.
Where?
One of our guys, Sam, is in here. Hey, Sam.
I don't see him.
You don't see him? Right there and there.
There we go. Hey, Sam.
He used to be like a huge,
extra fine
guy.
He still is.
Yeah, he still is.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Other Sam. He's other Sam.
Yep.
Because Sam Vaughn started first, and then for Joseph, for confusion purposes, he was other Sam. Let's see Sam and other Sam. They went 3 Sams at one point. That was super confusing. Joseph would say, "Can we go see 3 Sams?
Yep.
3 Sams here today." So now we just have 2.
Yep.
Can you have a job? I don't think we're hiring right now. But
no. You can send us your resume.
If your name is Sam, then no.
Yeah, it's a pre-qualification. Your name must be Sam.
Maybe it should be that your name is not Sam. Brian with a Y or a Ryan, or it could get real confusing.
Oh, thanking us for bringing Right Time back. You're welcome, Heartman85. I'm happy to do it. I mean, seriously, we enjoy Right Time. We really do. We were sad to stop doing it when we did because we were just so exhausted from our personal life. And frankly, right now, we're pretty exhausted too. But we missed it so much, we wanted to bring it back, even though it's exhausting.
All right, a couple more questions. Just to confirm, would the Monteverde 1.1 nib fit number 6 Edison pens?
The Monteverde 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same nib size.
Yeah, so if you have an Edison and you want to get a stub for it, Monteverde nib will fit.
Monteverde's official stance is that, their pens should be used with their nibs, just like any company will.
Edison would say that too, but
any company will tell you that. But
and the Ahab and the Conrad are the same size.
Yeah,
too,
like the Ahab, Conrad, the Edisons, most of them except for the Encore and the Mina and the Perlette.
Right, the smaller ones.
Bexley's, Tatcha. They all use the same size nib, and several other companies too.
I think some of the Twisby nibs too.
I think the VAC 700.
The VAC 700 is number 6. The 540 I think is the number 5 nib.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Number 5 is the same as like.
Now whether or not the feeds will work the same on all the nibs.
No, you're probably going to want to keep the feeds together.
Yeah.
Even like among the Monteverde pens, that's why we only sell just the nib and not a nib and feed. Is that you want to keep the feed with the pen that it goes with because. They're
usually, yeah.
Because some of them they just fit a little bit differently.
Yeah.
What is the best stub, Monteverde, Lamy, or Twisby?
Well, Twisby you can never find them, so.
I haven't used the Monteverde as much. I use a Lamy all the time. I love my Lamy.
I kind of like the Monteverde better, personally.
But I haven't had a lot of experience with this. I don't feel qualified to answer.
The nice thing about the Twisby is that you can swap it on the Monteverde too. I was going to say because you can swap it. Technically, you can swap the Twisby too, but the Twisbys are not very available.
Like your logo, do you sell shirts? Actually, yeah, we have a Zazzle store set up.
We have a link to it on our site, don't we? Don't we have a swag link? Or did you get rid of that?
I used to. Let me check. We do have a Zazzle store.
We have some shirts we designed.
We have both Ink Drop and the Goulet pen splatter. Yeah, if you go to our site, go to media.
All the way on the right on the bar in the menu.
Under that, there's a link to our Zazzle store. We get a small little cut. It's not a lot, but it's the best way we could do it to keep the prices down. Yeah, we sell different T-shirts. You can get sweatshirts. You can get long sleeve tees, all sorts of stuff. If you want to have Goulet pens, or if you want to have the ink drop, that sort of thing. Coffee mug, yeah, it's cool. It has ink drop on one side and Goulet pens on Goulet Pen Company on the other. We have mouse pads and there's buttons and stickers, all sorts of stuff. I really, really want to do. We do tote bags, and I have a couple of them. They're kind of nice. I really, really want to do like generic fountain pen swag. Just.
You're talking about like projects that we've dreamed of that
I know,
never
we've
have
been
the time to do.
talking about it for so long.
We have a lot of really good ideas, most of which I tend to end up generating with some kind of
What
sexual
if-
connotation just
I
because it's so
know,
natural.
I know. My pen is. I know. My pen is
My pen is-
bigger
pen
than
is bigger,
yours.
yeah.
I know. There's all sorts, and then you talk about nibs and broad and,
And
wet writing
and flow and
it's a slippery slope. Yeah, it's on our to-do list. What if I'm spitballing here?
Okay.
So maybe it's a terrible idea. What do I want to make? I want to make swag of like bumper stickers and postcards and things like that, T-shirts,
mugs and
just
all that
fountain
kind of stuff.
pen ink love.
Not like Goulet branded stuff necessarily, but
Inkaholics.
like just more like general fountain pen.
I'm an ink cereal
fanatic
samplist.
memorabilia type.
No,
stuff.
I'm a cereal ink samplist. Things like that.
Right.
What if, because our stumbling block is not the ability to produce them, it's the ability to come up with graphics.
Right.
What if we had people design stuff, have like kind of contests or things like that? People could submit their own graphic design stuff. We give some specifications, and then we produce some of the best ones, and the winners get prizes and things like that. Would that be fun? Do you guys, like, anyone who's like really big into Photoshop and stuff, would you guys like stuff like that? Like
Maybe.
to do that? I don't know.
We just have to make sure
It's
that
just an idea.
legally it'd be cool to
Well, it would become our
resell
property
it
and
stuff
that sort
like
of
that.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an idea.
It's worth exploring, I think. Yeah.
We'd
Yeah,
have
let
to
us
do
know
it in
what you
such
think.
a way that like we wouldn't have like all of our competitors just like stealing it and like producing it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Ink blotters. Yes, we've been wanting to do that. Here's the deal. They're really expensive. We've looked into it before, and it was just, people talked about, can you throw them in with orders? And they're really expensive. We thought about getting some made to, sell in like sets and stuff.
Yeah, well, I know
I mean,
Richard.
we could give
Richard
some away.
Bender does that, and I know of some companies that are now out of business that used to do those. Pear Tree, and I think Swisher did too.
And Prairie
I'm not
Reserve
sure.
makes some. We get some from them occasionally.
Yeah, that's true. But I got a quote from one guy before. They were really expensive, like too expensive just to give out in orders. But yeah, I'll hunt around because I've had more and more people asking me about this lately. I'll hunt around and try and find.
The purpose of an ink blotter, it's basically a very thick absorbent piece of paper that when you are writing with ink and you need to blot up the excess so that it dries faster and doesn't smear, that's what you do with it.
Yeah.
You have a video on how to use a blotter.
We have blotting paper. We sell it right
we
now.
do.
J. Urbana's blotting paper.
They're designed for their, their rocker blotters. But if you want, like, I've seen some that are like probably, like a 4x6, like postcard size. Yeah, I mean, selling some without a logo. I mean, yeah, we could.
Well, the J. Urbana, I mean.
No, I'm saying like we could definitely source them out.
We can, yeah. I just don't have the time to do any of that kind of stuff.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
I'm trying.
Got to do it.
Yeah, I'll try. I promise. It's on my to-do list already. I'll try and bump it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have a purpose. They're not for all purposes. You don't need them all the time, but sometimes they do come in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could throw, like, if we got some, they are expensive, but if they're like bigger orders where we could absorb the margins and stuff, we could throw them in, but it wouldn't be something we could just do for everything. The bookmarks and stickers are definitely a lot cheaper than the blotters, the blotter cards.
Just wait for the ink to dry before turning the page. Well, yeah,
in
is
theory,
definitely another option.
if you're able.
Some inks take a while to dry, though. Like X Feather can take forever.
I feel like I missed some questions.
Oh, probably. It's been a very active chat here tonight.
It's been great.
It's actually interesting with this new Sam Doran. I've got this new the IRC client that he set up on my computer today.
It's not an $8 for a sheet. It's a you get 10 of them.
I think it's a 10-pack. Yeah. It goes a long way. You cut it into quarters to use on that blotter, so you get like 40 sheets.
Do I not say that? I should
yikes.
have. Let me look.
Yeah, but anyway, Sam, if you're still listening, it actually has a counter for how many comments are posted
I do
in the
say
chat
10
here.
sheets.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah, you cut it into thirds, so you're really getting like.
You got my video embedded on there, right?
Yeah, your video's on there. So you really get like 30 out of it.
40.
40. You cut
is
it
it
in
thirds
a third?
or quarters? I think it's quarters.
Third.
I think it's quarters. I'd have to watch my own video.
So if you cut it into quarters, then you get 40 out of it.
Yeah, it goes a long way, and it's not like you use it once and throw it away. You can use the same sheet over and over and over again.
It's
it is
not
quarters.
in the,
Okay, yeah.
Not in the description. No, I mean I see it.
I don't think cutting it into quarters is in the description.
Yeah, but the 10 sheets part.
Which is probably. What about on the blotter? Do you have that?
Pre-cut, I said 10.
Do you say anything on the blotter about cutting sheets into quarters? Maybe.
No. I'll put on my to-do list
update. Making our descriptions more robust has been on our list for a long time.
Yeah, and someone. Okay, I did see earlier in the chat. I'm making the hand motion of way earlier because if you scroll up, it's way earlier. Sorry, I can't even talk straight.
I didn't know if you were proclaiming another rant, if that's what that hand motion was, but
I forgot. What were we just talking about? Oh, descriptions on our site. Someone said it'd be great if we had like little like personal tips, like, hey, this rouge hematite actually has a crazy sheen. That's why our swab looks so bizarre. Like it's actually red, but the sheen's crazy this way, and we couldn't make it. Like it'd be fun to do, or very helpful for us to give like some little like behind the scenes tips, if you will.
I started drafting some of those.
No, I'm not giving a rant. It wasn't a rant. Sorry.
No, I see. They misunderstood your hand motion.
Oh,
it seemed like a get ready for it.
I was looking at the chat on the screen. I was making a reference to. I remember seeing something way at the top. Sorry.
You should have done like a 2-finger scroll.
But I do
further up in the chat.
Well, I do reverse scrolling. You are still like old school.
No. I'm not. I changed months. I changed months ago.
Really?
I changed months ago. Thanks, Sam. He made me do it.
I'm so proud of you. Are Mueller's bottles always filled to the brim? You're always scared to unscrew them? Yeah, pretty much. Just put it on a stable surface. Hold it with one hand on the surface and just unscrew it, and it should be fine. You don't want to be like holding it up in the air while you unscrew it. But if you have it on a desk, a sturdy surface, and you unscrew it, should be just fine.
I've unscrewed it with one hand before. I live life on the edge. I just hold it and unscrew it with one hand, a brand new bottle. Why not? But I've handled a lot of bottles, so.
You want me to go on? I don't think I have another rant to go on. I'll have to think of something I could rant about. Anyway.
Yeah. Open on a plane during turbulence.
Don't open it in the car. Yeah. Yeah, just put on a steady surface. You should be just fine. All right. Well, we're kind of wrapping up here. Do you guys have any more questions for us? We're trying to not go 2 hours.
No, I think we'll wrap it up here. We're an hour 15. This is good. I feel like.
Do you want to talk briefly about the contest you're launching tomorrow?
I'm launching a contest tomorrow. Look for details tomorrow.
That is brief.
I talked about it. It's we were mentioned in a book by Wayne Mullins. It's called "So You Have a Website Now What?" And one of the chapters talks about us and our company and how we built our business from a hobby, which was pen making. So, we're in that book, and Wayne was nice enough to provide 25 copies of the book, plus, as well as notebooks and a preppy to go with each prize. So we're gonna be just choosing 25 winners. We're gonna have like a Google Doc, just survey.
It'll be like a survey.
A couple of questions. It'll literally take like 1 to 2 minutes.
You just answer a couple questions and have your email. This way we'll have emails. That's the one thing with the Lamy Studio contest is there were a couple folks who we had to chase some people down.
We had to chase some people down, and ultimately 3 people lost their prize because we just couldn't get a hold of them. So. It shouldn't be a problem this go around, but I thought that was pretty cool of Wayne to offer that, and it's kind of neat too. So,
are we shipping those, or is he shipping those?
He's going to.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to. So we're going to ship him all the stuff, and
he should autograph the books.
Yeah, I'll suggest that to him. I can't promise that because I'm not him, but I will recommend that to him. And then I think we're going to, if it works out in his schedule, we'll actually have him on Right Time next Wednesday. He'll be able to call in just for a little bit to kind of talk about his book and his background and why he included us in there.
And we're talking about having Brian Gray.
Does he have a fountain pen? Yeah, he's actually a customer of ours. That's how he discovered us. Is he discovered us like early on, like very early on when we started selling fountain pens, and kind of saw over a couple of years how we kind of brought on the videos and different tools on our site, and so he kind of like saw us pick up traction, and so I think that's why he included us in the book, is because he was really impressed.
He was just a customer of ours who's grown with us, and just
and he called me a couple times on the phone, and I talked to him and just kind of told him our mentality and the way we do things, and he was just really impressed by it all. So
I mentioned Brian Gray. Probably not next week, but the week after we'll have him on Right Time.
I committed to Brian.
Him on here every We used to have them every couple of weeks or every couple of months.
It might be next week. See, we're kind of overlapping because I was gonna have Wayne on next week, and he's not gonna be able to be here for long, just for a little bit.
And he's on the other coast, right?
I don't know where he is now. I know he was in like South Carolina or North Carolina or something, but so then like we wanted to have Brian on because we're doing the limited edition pen that's coming out, but I don't know if I can have two of them on in the same broadcast. I feel like I'm kind of like
cheating,
trying to date with two different girls on the same night kind of thing. Not that I would know how to do that because we've been together since we were 17, but you know. I don't know how to pull that off. Put it that way. So I don't know that I have the ability to coordinate two different guests. So in the same
we
night.
Want to have Brian on because like I said, we're going to launch a limited edition encore next week, and he can talk about all the other stuff he has going on. He'll have just come off the Ohio show and stuff. So we're talking about having him on soon. We wanted to have Nathan on at some point soon too. We haven't talked to him about
I haven't talked to him about that.
No, we haven't talked to him, but he's done it a couple times in the past.
We'll probably do it again. It's been a while.
It's been about a year.
No, we did it in...
We did one in the spring, too?
We did one in April, No.
I know we did...
Was that April the previous year?
I know we did... Yeah, I think October's last time.
Sam Doran might know, because he's been going through all our old right times.
Yeah, I'd love to have Nathan on here again. And,
we totally could.
We're open to other hosts, or not hosts, but other guest call-ins or whatever, too.
Yeah, we've had a few on. We've had Stephanie Smith from Spiritual Evolution of the Bean. We've had Nathan on a couple times. We've had Brian Gray on like a million times. I think that's about it, though. The reason we don't have
Jamie Grossman, did you say that?
We had Jamie Grossman on, and
we're gonna have her again on.
I think
soon.
we're gonna have her on again soon.
She's gonna give an update. It's been like 6-7 months since
it's been like 9 or 10 months now since her UV light fastness testing.
Mm-hmm.
So I need.
She's gonna give an update on, what inks are truly resistant and what are not.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
She said the results were not overwhelmingly positive.
Well, it's fountain penning.
I haven't talked to her yet. Yeah, I don't have high expectations for inks being left in the sun for
a little
9 months.
A little hard to get Stephen Brown on because he's probably in the middle of the night right now.
Oh, he's 5 hours ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, so it's probably more than 5 hours.
No, it was 5 hours. Well, it was 5 hours before the time change for fountain pen day.
6 hours.
So
I don't know.
Would that change anything? Would he still be
get someone from Private Reserve on? Yeah, they're very
That's
private.
Not gonna happen.
They're very, very private.
Get Speedy. I know Philip Wang from Twisby has done.
Philip is Speedy's son.
Speedy's son, yeah.
Yeah, he did an interview with Fountain Pen Geeks.
Fountain Pen Geeks, yeah. We might be able to get him on. He's on California, so it would be like 6 o'clock.
Oh, did I say that? Did I say that people from Private Reserve were very reserved? Maybe I said they're very.
No, I don't think you said they're reserved.
I said they were private.
They're very private and reserved.
Are they also reserved? Yes. Maybe that's where their name came from. They're private and reserved.
I don't think so, but
no, probably not. But they kind of are.
We've actually never even talked to the guy. We deal with somebody in between on Private Reserve, so I think they're pretty private and reserved. Not like us. We're sitting here broadcasting out of our living room for crying out loud.
Yeah. Someone says a new sofa. It's my parents' hand-me-down. New to us. We've never bought a new sofa. We always use hand-me-downs. All of our furniture.
We'll never have to if we just keep inheriting your parents' old furniture.
All of our furniture is hand-me-down or yard sale.
Almost all of it.
Our bed is we just bought is like the newest thing.
We bought like the kids' stuff newer.
Well, like the crib.
The crib and like changing tables.
Well, yeah. But anyway.
I don't really consider that furniture. It's not like fun furniture. That's like functional furniture. You need a changing table. You know what I mean? Whatever.
You guys want a video tour of the shop? Probably not.
That's tough to do. And the reason that's tough is because
there's a couple reasons.
We got competitors that keep a close eye on what we do, and we got proprietary ways of running our shop.
Oh, that's how they do ink samples, or that's how they pack or store things. That and like it's like if anyone wants to come rob us, I don't really want to give them like blueprints of where they can find everything.
Right.
It's
we have a lot of trade secrets.
I wish we could, but I also feel the need to protect ourselves too. It's not like I don't want to trust everybody. I just, we gotta protect ourselves.
Yep.
Got to make sure we're in business in the long run.
Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yeah, we got Oompa. Well, now you know who our Oompa Loompas are. So.
Yeah. Pictures of some stuff, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Like, we're talking about, like we said earlier, doing a video, like an actual produced video of our staff. And so we'll get to see some...
Technically, the video I did for Fountain Pen Day was in the back of our shop.
Yeah, but you can't see anything from that.
You could see a metal door and a bunch of boxes.
Show the giant rolls of the blue saran wrap, yeah. And our giant rolls of bubble wrap, and yeah. I mean, it's no secret that we use a lot of it.
Actually, the saran wrap's not that giant. I guess it's kind of giant.
It is. It's very thin, so those are heavy.
Yeah, they are heavy.
Yeah. Oh, the mouse. There is no more mouse. There is no more mouse.
How long ago was that? That was like 2 years ago now, wasn't it?
The Christmas mouse. Yeah.
That was about 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
That was a long time ago.
Wow. The Christmas mouse.
And it's still coming up. Like every broadcast. Every broadcast,
and
the mouse comes up.
And now Shark Vigs.
Shark Vigs. And probably the smoke alarm going off too.
And the squid clip and the...
the vegetable peeler and all that.
Yeah, that was a good broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like bringing up inside jokes that most people don't know. Isn't that great?
You know what? They can go back and watch past recordings.
There's like 85 recordings.
I know.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
And the Aztec.
Well.
Don't knock the Aztec.
The Aztec's not so much a joke. We don't joke about our Aztec. That thing's awesome.
Yeah. That's true. We do have a long-lasting customer base. Long-lasting is relative. This will be...
We've only been around for 3 years.
As I say, this month marks 3 years.
Actually, in 10 days, right? The 17th is our anniversary. Technically, we consider that our anniversary.
Yeah, so
next Saturday.
3 years we've been retailing paper and ink. It'll be...
That's when we received in our first shipment of paper and ink and started selling it. We were making pens before that, but... I really consider... very successfily.
This, 3, yeah. We probably won't do it right time on our anniversary because that's a Saturday. No, we'll just. I guess next week would be like our anniversary celebration.
Next week when we're having 2 guests on already. Let's have Jamie Grossman on too, and we'll throw a party. We'll call Nathan in too. We'll just have a big old.
Why not?
Phone fest, I guess. Well, it was anticlimactic. Yeah. How did we meet? Oh, gosh.
High school.
Yeah, we were in high school. We both sang. We were at different schools, different parts of the state. And we were auditioned.
You guys know our story.
It in? Yeah.
Yeah, we were singing.
We both sang, and we auditioned for a state singing event. And we both made it in.
We were the only ones from our schools.
It was a 3-day event at the
Homestead
Hotel,
Springs, Virginia.
which is a gorgeous hotel.
I'd love to go back there someday.
We can't even afford to go back there now. It's like super expensive.
Yeah.
But obviously they worked out some kind of special rate for a bunch of high schoolers to go there.
Yeah, we didn't have to pay in high school, but...
Yeah, but it was pretty...
Yeah, we just met over
cool.
a weekend and talked all weekend and exchanged emails and phone numbers and did long distance for 2 years, high school and our first year of college, and then I transferred to Virginia Tech, and we spent the last 3 years of college there together, and then got married, and that was 6 years ago. And then we had 2 kids.
Then we had 2 kids and started a business.
So it's been 11 years this month, actually around the same anniversary as the business. November 15th.
That's right, the 15th is the day we met.
Yeah, it'll be 11 years.
Yep. Wow.
I know.
It's a while.
It's going to get to the point where we're going to get to that halfway mark at some point.
The halfway mark will be when we're 35. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple more years.
We got a little ways. A little ways to go.
No, we're not going to sing.
How about a sample tune? Oh, yeah.
You said, how do we discover fountain pens? You were making pens, and they made fountain pen kits, and you're like,
I was aware of fountain pens through pen making. I didn't.
It wasn't until you went to the DC show in 2009. I
attended the DC fountain pen show in 2009, and that's kind of when I had an epiphany.
So you didn't realize how young we're 28. As we met at 17, it's been 11 years that we're 28.
An anniversary performance. Oh, they want us to sing for anniversary.
No.
Will sings too. Will's got a really good voice.
I know.
We've joked about putting together a little barbershop.
It's not a barbershop if it's 3 people and one's a girl. It's not a barbershop. It's just an a cappella group.
Fine. A cappella group sounds so much lamer than barbershop.
We're getting Joseph to sing now too, and it's really cute.
Oh my gosh, Joseph is adorable.
Yeah, he's really cute. We have little VeggieTales Sunday school songs.
We've been listening to the same VeggieTales CD in the car for
a year.
I think about a year.
It's just on repeats, 25 songs over and over again. But he's learning the songs, and it's wonderful. We gotta teach him some Christmas songs now. We need a good Christmas CD. We need to start now so that by the time it's Christmas, he'll actually learn something.
We really should.
Have we ever unpacked one of our packages? Yes.
It sucks.
Occasionally, like, a package will come back because of, like, an undeliverable or, like, some sort of postal situation where it ends up coming back to us. And, we open it, we're like, crap.
That's why we include the candy. Yeah, it's not only for the energy, but for entertainment for your mouth while you're having to unpack the packages. We're sorry. We know it's not,
that's why we have the candy.
Ideal for everybody to
for
spend 10 minutes, but it builds suspense. It builds excitement when you're unwrapping it.
Christmas CD. We need to get a Christmas CD. A kid's Christmas CD.
Yeah. A not bad
with, like,
Christmas CD.
Jingle bells and Silent Night.
We got that Hall & Oates Christmas CD that
came free with one of our bubble wrap shipments.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so we said we would wrap up like 15 minutes ago. So we've actually probably should. It's just I'm gonna spend that much more time exporting all this video tonight.
That's all right.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up.
The suspense is great. I've been working on a Goulet package for 3 weeks now. Well, that's a little.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
It's like Christmas, exactly. It's fun. We try to make it an experience.
Like an archaeologist chipping away. Oh gosh.
A lightsaber works well.
Oh man.
But good. You know what? I bet you your stuff isn't damaged, or at least very rarely.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but
your son likes to help you. See, that's cool. Make it like a family event.
Yeah.
Teach your children patience to have to get into the package. Most kids will probably give up halfway through and lose interest, but
trying to get the tape up.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
for
we're
real.
wrapping up. Okay. So next week,
new Metropolitans in stock tomorrow. Got a whole bunch of new Ahabs coming in next week.
We'll plan to have Wayne Mullins on next week. I'm not sure about Brian Gray. He did say that he would be free to do it. I don't know if I'll have the wherewithal. I don't know if I'll have the wherewithal to be able to do it. So I'll talk to him and confirm whether or not he's going to join too. But anyway,
we'll let you know.
Yeah, but we're going to be we're recording this video right now. We're going to be posting it on YouTube and have that available, as well as a transcript of the chat.
I hope Parker doesn't drop us because of my rant.
I hope not too. You better just.
But you know what? We only carry 3 ink colors, so if we got dropped, it wouldn't be the biggest dent in the world.
Yeah. You're just digging deeper now. Jeez, come on.
I'm sorry, Parker, but
if anybody from Parker is watching this, we do not want to drop the brand.
As a fountain pen enthusiast, I think it's a stupid pen. And
you're really not helping anything here, Rachel. Come on.
I'm taking my retailer hat off. As a fountain pen enthusiast, I would never buy one for myself. It's great if they're selling a whole bunch of them, but it's not for us. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, you really need to stop. Okay.
Don't get mad at me. Everybody agrees.
Everybody in the chat supports you, but
I know. I'm not supposed to say stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not. So anyway,
I'm honest. Those are our 3 principles: work hard, be honest, be flexible.
Yeah,
and I'm working hard at being honest.
You need some social tact sometimes.
Well, you need to be flexible.
I feel like I've been pretty flexible.
All right.
Okay.
They should appreciate honesty. This is honest feedback. I think it is. Okay.
Try yoga. Flexible.
The end.
Yes. Okay. Now we're officially ending. It's been an hour and a half, so that's no matter what we try to do, it seems to be that we can't go any shorter than an hour and a half. So that will be all for our broadcast this week.
Thank you all for joining us.
On November 7th, 2012. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. We had a great time. And we will plan to see you same time here again next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for another Right Time. Thanks.
Bye.